Hey, 1, 2, 3, man. Getting back to you as quick as I can now. Actually, tried to make a video last evening when I got home, and didn't work out. I do apologize always for the sound quality of all of my videos that I make. I don't know why why it is, but even if you look at our website and the videos that Pete and I make, so the record quality there, that's maybe because we use Skype and call recorder, and that stuff is completely different from this, where I post directly from the computer to the net. But anyway, no excuse, but my apologies. Um, you said a lot of stuff there, and thanks a lot for it, because I really appreciate, you getting back and your pretty much open-mindedness of what's going on with money, because it's something that you want to understand better, and that's a great place to be. Um, and really appreciated your comments about, well, you can learn from anybody, really. All they have to do is, have the experience that they can teach you from. Now, nobody can teach, people can learn. I always believe that. In order to learn, that means that you got to be on the receptive end of something. So you are in a good spot. Also, in full disclosure, I spent 9 years on the shore of the Bay of Fundy. My wife and I, we were homesteaders up there in the 70s. And came to love Canada, and still do. And we moved back to the States just because my wife's parents were aging and we needed to take care of them. I spent 25 years living in Vermont. I was electric co-op manager up there, and I've been a monetary reformer ever since my dad turned me on. Well, in the 60s, my dad was trying to turn me on to it. Just a little aside, sorry. My dad's 8th grade dropout, had to go to work, became a businessman, employed hundreds of people. A great guy, a brilliant guy, and but he found out about money the hard way. I became a monetary reformer, tried to convince me to become a monetary reformer. I was far too busy, being a young man doing many of the things that you're doing, and an advocate for peace and the environment, and all of that. And my dad, used to say to me that all those things are great, all those things are important, social justice. All those things are important, but you're never going to fix any of those things, really, finally, he says, until you fix the money system. And not knowing what he said, I was living up in Canada at the time. One time he was going to come visit me, and he said, I really want to know why, I'm not scoring with you, and why you're not, onto this thing about the money system. And he gave me about 2.5 months to read everything that he had sent me, so that when I came up there, I could shoot him down, and I took him up on it. Lo and behold, when he came up there, I said, Dad, you're right. It is the money system. And I've been on that ever since. It's the money system. Now, when things seem like they're going good, people don't listen. If you listen to Pete about how we started economicstability.org, he'll tell you that, for 20 years, I was telling him, hey, Pete, the money system's going to crash because it's a debt-based money system. It needs to be reorganized and started over on a debt-free basis. We'll never have the means of exchange in order to achieve our prosperity for the long term unless we do that. So there's my Canadian disclosure. There's I learned from the knee of my dad, about it. Quite frankly, so I'm in total agreement about all that stuff. I want to kind of jump into what you said, and I hope that you get this now, right now, at this moment, because instead of thinking about the printing press and, well, we could pay $20 an hour for the burger flippers and $100 an hour for the oil workers. Yes, you can, if in the market for burgers, you can find somebody that can pay the price for the burger, okay, or for the oil worker, okay. And if you can't, then you can't sell those burgers. And then usually the only way to sell those burgers is to inflate the wages of the people that are going to be consuming what you're producing. So you can't just have one side of the coin, production and consumption, out of whack with the other. And so that's A, you know. And then B, even if everything is in whack, you still have the limitation of how much how much money should be in the national economy, and that's determined by the national economy, the potential of the national economy. Money has to be there to equal the production and consumption potential of the national economy. Always remember that. You know, everything that we have, we have what was potential. Now this is what it is, you know, and the stuff that's in the future, and not even in the future, the immediate future, you know, is whatever that potential is. And if you get into our stuff and you see the thing with Dr. Karu Yamaguchi, the most, you know, learned, one of the most learned men on the planet, the guy who's modeled debt-free money, the public money system, you know, you'll see there that that the whole system has to be based on GDP potential. That's how national economies have to work, to their GDP potential, and you have to always try to be building up the potential. Okay, and the way you do that is by investing in infrastructure, and that infrastructure includes human infrastructure, and therefore includes health, education, you know, and as well as, you know, all the things that people need, housing, etc. So, I'm sorry if I'm going to miss something. There's a comment from Greenspan, brings you to the kernel, the seed, the genus of reality of money. Okay, because Greenspan said, well, we can just print up the money to pay off the debt, because that raises the question, the penultimate question, when you come to understand money: what is money? What is money? Now, you talked about money can be backed by gold and not backed by gold. True, okay. Believe me, any problem that we've had not backed by gold, we've had backed by gold. So, backed by gold is nothing. My dad used to say to me, you know, because he studied Austrian economics, he said to me, you know, of course we don't need to back the money by gold, but we could back it by gold, but, you know, in order to do that, we have to manage the gold. You know, so if we're going to manage the gold, we might as well just manage the money without the gold. You know, so ultimately, you have to be willing to trust your friends and neighbors, your co-Canadians, you know, the people that you live with, to recognize that we're all in this together. You know, every nation is in this together. The people of every nation are in it together. And you have the full faith and credit of your national money system that you actually hold quite sacred, quite frankly. And thus, you achieve the best outcome. So what is money? I don't want to get too philosophical, but money is really nothing but a kind of a legalized social construct. And that social construct either serves or does not serve the needs of the people. And in this case, it's not serving. Because how you legalize that social construct determines everything. And the private Federal Reserve System is that legal construct that we're working on now. And when you set up the legal construct, that's your national monetary system. That's the national money system. That's the money system of your nation. How did we set ours up? We set ours up because there's no money. This is the thing about what Greenspan said that makes it so true. There's no money unless somebody creates it out of nothing. Somebody has to create money. Whose job is that? Well, we've given that job to the bankers. That job to the bankers. Quick aside, we've given that job to the bankers. Back to Canada. Vancouver, if I understand. I want to turn you on to a guy. Maybe if you visited our website, maybe if you visited some of our videos, you came across the video of Will Abrams. Completely honorable, terrific Canadian gentleman who lives up there on the east coast of Vancouver Island. I'm going to forget the name of it right now. Look up Will. Look up Will's video, his hockey stick video. All the years that Canada, this is the national debt, all the years that Canada did, all the great things that it did after it was starting with the Bank of Canada Act, really, okay? All the great things they did up through the war and into the 60s and into the 70s, there's their national debt. Well, transpose borrowing the money for government infrastructure to national debt. You'll find out how they did that. And you'll restore the true prosperity to Canada, the prosperity you can have without the debt, and therefore empowering the people, and then take the money power back from the people that have it now. In Canada as well, by the way, all these international bank corporations know, I think it was, sorry, Napoleon, he said, money knows no other country. Okay? Yeah, that is a problem. When you're worried about your identity as a country and your job in your country and getting paid in the currency of your country and money knows no other country, you need to change. You need to turn around the money system so that it knows the mother country, and we stop all of the international stuff and restore national stuff. Okay. Yeah, we'll go national cooperatively after we control national. That's the only way to go. Sorry for that aside. Will Abrams, great videos. Back to Greenspan and the creation of money out of nothing. All money gets created out of nothing. That's all there is to it. The only way you can create money is out of nothing. You can back it by, you can choose to back it by something, you know. Federal Reserve was created. They understand the cross the gold speech, you know. Understand the fight that went on because they wanted to actually back the currency with gold. And I'm talking about narco. So all money in the structure of the American monetary system, all money is created as a debt. Remember, the legal social construct is not predetermined, it's determined, and it's determined by the law. So the law gives banks the ability to lend money, just to lend money into existence as a debt on the basis of holding more money, other money. Okay, so there's no backing for the debt. Okay, what they do is they get you to give them backing for the debt. You walk in and you tell the bank you want to buy a car. They say, "Give me the car." They own the car. You know, and they give you the money. You buy the car. You make the payments. They own the car. They own the car until you pay it off completely. They pay it off completely. They give you the car, and they cancel the debt. The problem with the debt money system is they cancel the money. There's no money, so you need more money. So you need more debt. So you need more loans. Okay. Google the famous quote by Atlanta Fed credit manager Robert Hempel. And the tragedy of the money system. If banks don't make loans, we don't have money. And if you don't look around and see that's where we are today, then you're just missing the point. Okay. So you have made the mistake of falling into the completely uncharted waters of money. Okay. The stuff that I'm talking about, where they don't teach in economics school. I happened to be up at Dr. Kru Yamaguchi, Dr. Yamaguchi, who modeled Dennis Kucinich's act, essentially, made a presentation up in Washington on the work that he had done, you know, that paper that I was telling you about. And when I went in there and sat down, because I wanted to listen to the presentation, you know, to the staff of the committee that the congressman was on, with Ron Paul, by the way, and sat next to me, you know, the guy from the IMF. And I happen to know this guy because he's actually somebody who has kind of an open mind about what's going on with money, to be honest with you. But he sat down next to me, and I had met him before, you know, and I said, "Hey, Michael Kumhoff." I said, "So Michael, kind of surprised to see you here. You know, to hear about, you know, Dr. Yamaguchi's presentation. You know, it's public money. You know, the antithesis of everything the IMF is involved in. You know, and promulgates all around the world. Okay. Um, and what he said was, well, this is, you know, he's a monetary economist, of course. You know, he says, well, they don't teach this stuff in the economics. Just remember that. Your problem is if you start learning about money before you go to economic school, you're going to have a hard time because they don't let you out through this door. Okay? They will not let you out through this door. This door belongs to us. Okay? And you got to take it or leave it, man, because it's a lot of stuff. There's a lot more to what you said that I wanted to get back to. But I don't think I can make a longer video. And thanks for being there.